Greetings, my fellow financial ninjas. Today, I am going to talk about Bumble. The reason why I came across this topic was on our WhatsApp group. Somebody was talking about the Bumble IPO, and I thought this would be a good topic to discuss. So, here we go. Now, Bumble is a dating application which was founded by the co-founder of Tinder back in like I think 4 or 5 years ago. It was actually initiated by Badu. That's a app in Europe which has been in business since 2006. They approach the CEO. I forgot her name. Whitney Wolf, I guess. Yeah, and then they kind of formed the collaboration. Badu loaned their engineering team and tried to build this app. Now, just a little bit of a history of all these dating apps that have been in the business for the past couple of decades. So I remember Match.com had started back in 1995, and that was a big deal when I came in US in '97. Match.com was extremely popular. You could not miss its advertisement. It was all over the TV and media and everything. And then a couple years later, there was eHarmony, which again flooded the radio stations and TV ads and so on and so forth. And after that, there's quite a few different dating applications. There was MySpace came in, and then Facebook, which really aren't dating apps, but they kind of started off as you had a social profile, and then it was kind of meant for dating, and then there was Yahoo Personals and AOL Personals and all of those companies, and then it kind of evolved into OkCupid and what was that? The other one, Zeus. There was Zeus, I remember, and there's a few others, and then obviously there was Tinder, and finally we have Bumble. I mean, on the way there have been quite a few other dating applications, that had like a niche target market. But broadly speaking, these are some of the ones that are the major ones in the past 20 years. Now, I usually like to talk about products or services that I have personally used, but in this case, I have no clue. I've never used one of these applications in quite a while, but there's no harm in looking at the financials, right? So this particular app is in close to 150 countries. And it has about 54 million users, and it is second to only Tinder, which is owned by Match Group. Now, one thing that I need to point out is that since Match.com started in '95, it evolved into the Match Group, and it owned a bunch of applications which were all related to dating, like OkCupid and what was that? Lots of Fish. And many of the others are actually owned by the Match Group. So it's kind of like, you can say, the heavyweight in this particular area. And when Bumble started, it kind of was an offshoot of Tinder, with a lot of the management coming from Tinder. Now, one of the things that differentiates Bumble from Tinder is that it gives more power to women. In the sense that they have the ability to initiate conversation and do the choosing. So it gives more power to the women. So obviously, wherever the women are, that's where the men are going to follow. So in that sense, that has made this particular niche has made Bumble very successful in their endeavor. And that is one of the biggest differentiating factors. Now, it has grown quite a bit. Like, it has grown exponentially, and I think it has a great business model. that it can work on. The revenue, I think, from the last filing that I read was 376 million. They lost about 84 million. And based off of the IPO, which was supposed to IPO at $43 per share, the total market cap was supposed to be 8.2. But like all other IPOs that have been IPOing for the last year and a half, this IPO at way higher than $43. This afternoon rather, it opened at $76, which puts it at almost $15 billion. That's an hefty valuation. I mean, I understand that this is a company that is growing and has a large market share in a lot of different countries and everything, but that kind of a hefty evaluation, it makes me nervous. One of the key factors for making an investment in some of these companies is what are the growth prospects for them, and what you will find is that a lot of times these companies, when they first start, they get a lot of traction. There's a lot of noise about them because of the some sort of a differentiating factor, which we already saw in some of the predecessors of these online dating companies. And in this particular case, it is the fact that the application empowers women, and so it is getting a lot of traction in getting the customer base. But what is it? What could prevent it from somebody else coming up with some other differentiator that is even more popular and then try to get the market share? So that is one of the things. And then obviously there is a Match, that is the big behemoth in this particular field, and there's a good chance that they might do or come up with something that negates some of the advantages that Bumble has for now. So that is one of the factors. And then the other thing is that this was supposed to IPO at $43 per share, and even at $43 per share, it is a pretty hefty evaluation. And given that the stock is already reached, I opened at 76 this afternoon. When it closed, it was at about $70. At $70, that is still pretty high in my opinion. And given that there is a locking period for the employees to actually sell these stocks, which is typically about 6 months, I would wait on this particular stock. So given all the factors, I am not in the favor of buying Bumble at this point. If it were a more like a $35-$30 stock, maybe I would consider it, but at this particular point, I would recommend not to buy. Now, given the way the market is, I could be wrong, and tomorrow that this stock might go to $140, and somebody who buys it at that price, hey, more power to them. But given all the circumstances and what's going on in the market, I would be more cautious in buying the stock, and not buy right away and wait for some kind of a drop to get into this particular stock. So that pretty much covers my opinion about Bumble. Do like and subscribe this video, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.